The Battle Phase podcast is broadcast live on Fridays and Sundays, and we encourage you to come hang out and chat with Bard and Dare live. Now, prepare to declare attacks. You are entering the Battle Phase. Hello everyone, you have entered the Battle Phase. It is I, the Midnight Bard, your favorite bard. And joining me as always is everybody's favorite co-host, Dareinger.
Picasso Lemonade.
Picasso Lemonade?
Up first, we have what we're watching this week.
Yes, very true. Up first, we do have what we're watching this week, as per the usual. But before we begin, please remember to like, sub, and share. It is the easiest way to help the boys make the channel grow. And, other than that, if you're on the podcasting platforms, welcome. If you'd like to join us for our live recording sessions, which we do on YouTube, we record live every Friday and Sunday at youtube.com/atthebattlephase. You can find us there, and, sometimes we post additional content, like, shorts where you catch us doing stuff in 60 seconds or less. Or we also have, Let's Plays, which are fun, and we do Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel from time to time. I do Fire Emblem once a week or something like that. And I'm actually thinking of starting a new series this coming month called Learn Japanese with Bard. It's something that I've been picking up, it's like a little bit of a hobby, and I think I'm doing pretty well. One thing that I'd like to complain about is that there's almost 100 characters in just the easy alphabets in this language. 100, right? Because it's about 50 apiece, maybe a little more. And then there's an entire third alphabet in which each character represents an entire word. And depending where it is on the what do you call it, sentence, it can have a different meaning. So this language is kind of difficult, dude. However, if I stick with it, I can watch anime without needing to wait for the dub, and I'll be ahead of everyone else. It'll be exciting. Can read manga in Japanese.
Tune in next week when we have Bard realize that Russian is worse.
Yeah, I bet that it's a lot worse. I don't know. I don't know languages. So yeah, like we start off with watching this week. Which I've been watching an anime that my wife just recommended a lot. It's called My Happy Marriage. I think she was trying to give me hints. But, hey, you see their happy marriage? How about you do some of that? And I'm like, I don't know about that. But anyway, it's called My Happy Marriage. And what's it about, you ask? It is about arranged marriages, familial abuse, and ghosts. One thing I forgot to do before we got started, I want to say hello to Siggy and Brother Gamma in the chat. They have joined us. So yeah, that's what this anime is about. The story of a girl called Mio Saimori, who is arranged to be sent away from her household, which is very abusive. She's basically like a Cinderella figure, She is the daughter of the head of the household, but they basically treat her as a servant. There's a younger sister who is preferred, and they basically treat her like she's garbage, right? So one day the dad just says, you know what? We don't want you here. We've arranged for you to be married to this guy who has a reputation for being kind of stern and kind of a unlikable douche. And his name is Kyoka Kudo. Have fun. So they send her off, and it turns out that this Kudo guy is actually pretty cool. He's actually a pretty swell guy. Yeah, he is a little stern, but he's not evil. So, basically upon, whenever she arrives, he kind of notices, wow, she's really malnourished. She looks nothing but like skin and bones, and she's so shy. She doesn't hold your gaze. She looks almost terrified that you're gonna yell at her at any given moment. So he kind of puts two and two together and realizes, oh, so her family was abusive. Well, that's no good. So what he starts doing is he starts trying to help her come out of her shell, gain more confidence in herself, and just basically heal from all the years of family trauma. Um, Also, there's a supernatural element to this show. People have some kind of psychic abilities, and there's these unseen ghosts that if you don't have the psychic ability, you're basically just at their mercy because you can't see them, you don't know they're there. And Mio happens to be from a family of really powerful psychics. Question mark? I guess it's psychic is a right term. Could be mutants. I don't know. So her abilities are actually really strong, but the thing is, they're so they were so awkward that her dad just didn't realize that they were there. This is why the younger sister was preferred over her, because the younger sister, manifested her gift early and it was so strong. Oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. But like she barely showed any signs, if any at all. So it was kind of like, oh, well, you're not worth anything to me. Like if a family's to be strong, we need these psychic people in them. And the guy, Kyoka Kudo, himself is part of a military organization that hires these psychics to fight these ghosts. So one thing that bothers me about the anime is that they could have used any word for the ghosts. Like they could have used ghosts, ghouls, I don't know, goblins, oni, like yokai, whatever. They went with a weird word called grotesquerie, which I was like, wow, that doesn't roll off the tongue at all. I'm like, I don't like this. I was like, grotesquerie? Uh,
It, yeah,
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 yeah. It's a
yeah.
it's a wholesome anime. I will give it that. It's kind of a it's a little bit of a drama. But like it's cute. It makes you feel good when you see that a girl from family who treats her like shit, starts being treated like she's worth what she's worth. It's nice. It's nice. The healing process is a bit slow, but hey, as it is with these things.
Yeah, the things in deal. And up next,
But I did want to take a moment because this is something that we had that I kind of meant to put earlier on, and I just didn't move the slide. But yeah, in community news, Bard is Kecleon again. The second episode of the popular Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Victory Fire comic dub is now live on YouTube. The story about a girl turned into an Audino, a guy who got turned into a Gengar, and a Kecleon looking to protect them from evil forces continues. Bard plays Kecleon. After the podcast is over, go and comment on the video and say Kecleon is our boy. Link is in the description. It's kind of fun. This is one that actually takes a long time during the editing process. And it's funny because like whenever I got the notification, it's like, hey, this is coming out. I was like, oh, I forgot I play Kecleon.
so I watched the first one and it was really good. So
Yeah.
the second one should be pretty good too.
Yeah, like I did get a message from the editor at one point that he was like, saying like I went really hard on one part of the performance. Honestly, I don't know what part he was talking about, so I'm gonna have to
It's
go
probably
watch it.
the rap.
Yeah, probably the rap. I'm gonna have to go watch it myself and see what it is. Brother Gamma says Kecleon is a good duelist. That would be hilarious. Like just one day they just have like a Yu-Gi-Oh thing. But speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, that comes from Japan. You know what else comes from Japan? Samurai.
Gotta get back to the past, samurai. Check, check,
Damn right.
check, check.
You know how it be. You know how it is.
Samurai Jack season 17 coming out. No,
Absolutely not the case, but yeah. So, in anime news, Netflix is dropping Mad Samurai shit, and Bard is here for it. Boy, that's what I'm talking about. Netflix has dropped 2 trailers for some mad dope, super hype, hella good bussin' samurai shows, and dog, Bard is mad hype for this.
yeah, me too.
The shows
Samurais.
The shows are Onimusha and Blue Eye Samurai, which will be dropping in November 2nd and 3rd, respectively. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You
samurai.
you guys know that I'm a sucker for samurai. You know, like up until the deck got confusing, Six Samurai was my Yu-Gi-Oh deck of choice. I play Shiranui. Those are samurai. You know, they're ghost
I
samurai.
played giant robots. I played ancient gears
We
and
dig
gods.
giant
Giant
robots.
robots.
You
You dig
dig
giant
giant
robots.
robots. Chicks
Chicks dig
dig
giant
giant
robots.
robots. Yeah, it's great.
It's probably not the order that that goes in, but I
It
don't know if we're
probably
not. It
isn't, but you know what?
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was a fun theme song. It's freaking crazy. I love it. But the most exciting one out of these is
I'm going to listen to it right now.
yeah, go for it. Is Netflix Onimusha? Yes, very yes, hell yes. Onimusha, based on the wildly underrated Capcom hack and slash title, will follow the story of Miyamoto Musashi, perhaps based on the historical figure. For you guys who don't know, Miyamoto Musashi was a Japanese samurai. And he kind of had the title of undefeated, but he was also kind of he was he had unorthodox strategies for being a samurai, and it was kind of fun. He basically from the age I think it was from the age of 13 he went up to like dojos claiming wanting to fight their strongest dude, and then he would fight quote unquote dirty and win. So Miyamoto Musashi, if you guys have never seen or heard anything about him, he is awesome to learn about. He is awesome. And me personally, I'm a huge fan of his philosophy book, the Book of the Five Rings. If you've never read that, it's kind of good. I actually think that he's onto a lot of stuff that I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. But that's me. Anyway, the character model, and this is the exciting part because I don't know how you'll feel about this, Dare, but like this is actually kind of cool in my opinion. The character model, because this is a 3D animated anime basically, and the main character is modeled after the Japanese screen actor Toshiro Mifune, who played in a lot of like really classic samurai movies from like the Silver Age, you know. So like black and white samurai movies by Akira Kurosawa, like Seven Samurai and Sanjuro and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, so this is the guy, when you think samurai movies, this is the guy,
Be
Uh,
like Jackie Chan for like kung fu movies, or
exactly. Or like Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, or like,
uh,
Adam West for
Chuck
Batman.
Norris.
Yeah, Chuck Norris. All of
Chuck
it.
Norris for like cowboy. Well, no, I guess maybe Clint Eastwood for cowboy movies.
Yeah, like Clint Eastwood for cowboy movies, right?
And
But
Clint Eastwood for like old disgruntled badass man
yeah,
movies.
really? Clint Eastwood for like an old guy who's just not about to take it anymore and likes to grumble when he talks. But yeah, so Mifune actually died in 1997, but I guess this is kind of like an homage to him, kind of sort of, where they're like, hey, you know what? This guy was the samurai on Silver Age samurai movies. So Miyamoto Musashi, the historical samurai in this Onimusha adaptation, will be played by Toshiro Mifune. I keep pronouncing his last name wrong. Yeah, but he will be played posthumously by Toshiro Mifune, and I'm pretty sure that this is something that was agreed upon by his family. Like I don't think that they're just doing like a thing where they're like, "Hey, how about we make him look like him, but we tell no one until it's already airing." At least I hope not. How weird would that be? Would you be happy with your ghost playing a part after you're long gone, Dare?
Samurais are cool.
Yeah.
When are they gonna make an ancient gear? Ancient gear. They find old robots in the middle of nowhere. They power them on and they start to like destroy the world.
Um, I feel like
Don't
that's
say it already. It doesn't already exist. Don't tell me it.
well. I was kind of thinking about it. I'm like that. I feel like that sounds like a plot to something I've seen before. Isn't that the plot to like what's that
Mark
studio?
Five,
Yeah,
Mark
what's
V.
what's the plot to that one Studio Ghibli movie? It's like The Valley of the Wind, whatever. I feel like that's exactly what the plot of that is. It's like, oh, there's these ancient robots, and they blew up the world, but now like they're old and rusted, and they're wandering the world, just doing damage and stuff like that. I think that's what it was.
It's a plot of Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the plot of something in Warhammer 40K. Those guys have their fingers in a whole bunch of pots. But anyway, so this one's kind of exciting. It's kind of like a really it's pretty straightforward hack and slash game from Capcom. You know, you play a cool samurai fighting what's it called? Fighting demons, and it lends itself so well to be an anime, right? So the fact that it took them this long to make one is actually a little bit surprising.
Yes.
Yeah, I that's
I have no clue about any of this. They just keep like leaving a space for me to like.
well, yeah. I mean, like, well,
Yeah.
here,
Yes, that is what happened with that there.
it is extremely surprising, and I don't know. I kind of wondered. I'm like, do you think that there's other things that lend themselves very well to be animated but have not yet? Because I feel like that's kind of like something that like everybody can speak to. Like for example, I would say that Gargoyle in the chat would probably agree that it's weird that Fire Emblem doesn't have like a modern anime.
Well, like, I could agree with that. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
mine's more of like, if it has a good story, why doesn't it have like a movie adaptation or something?
Right, or something like that, like an adaptation.
I've been saying like a God of War movie would have been great
Oh,
for
I
like the
agree.
first 3 or 4 games, and I mean that's never happened.
Yeah, it's never
Which
happened,
after
right?
seeing what was that? There was like another game that was close to that they made a movie of, and it was horrible. And after seeing that, I was like, maybe we don't need a God of War movie.
Oh, I can
But
tell
like,
you one that I know of, which would be Monster Hunter. The Monster Hunter movie had almost nothing to do with the Monster Hunter games. It felt so weird and stupid.
well, see, I've never played a Monster Hunter game, but the game needs to have like a good story to it to be a movie adaptation. And from what I've seen of Monster Hunter, it's go hunt monster, get things, upgrade weapon, go hunt monster,
Right,
rinse, repeat.
right.
There's
So
not really a story to it.
there
Whereas
isn't.
with God of War, it's spoiler alert if you haven't played a game that's literally like 30 years old now.
Mm,
You
yes.
kill your parent or you kill your wife and your daughter
Mm-hmm.
because you were betrayed by Ares,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're seeking vengeance against the gods of Olympus.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first game.
Yeah, it's
And
like
then
Clash of the
you
Titans, only a
become the
lot
God of
more
War.
angry, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's Clash of the Titans, but with more blood, gore, and adult themes.
Yeah.
And it's just like
That's a Hollywood movie
that's a
that
good
writes
story.
itself. Yeah.
That's a really fucking good story because he was tricked into killing his wife and daughter to
Mhm.
be more loyal to Ares and be the perfect warrior. And then it backfires on Ares and he kills him. That could be a good movie because the like point A to point B getting there's so much different stuff. Like you're going to Pandora's temple, you have to find the Oracle of Athens, you have to do all these puzzles and stuff within the uh, the temple that's on Kronos' back, and it's just like, why is this not a movie? Come on,
Exactly. Yes. Like everybody knows a
what are you
property.
doing, Disney?
Yeah, like why what are you doing, Disney? I don't think that Disney would be the one to make that movie, but yeah, okay. At least not if you wanted it to be true to its source material. I mean, let's just look at what they did to Star Wars, right? Uh
Are you doing Warner Brothers? Question mark.
I feel like Warner Brothers would be a good one, yes. Maybe Lionsgate, which might be owned by Warner Brothers. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure which movie studio owns what. So yeah, like there's a lot of things out there that I'm like, this screams like it needs an adaptation, but like we're just not going to touch it. God of War would be a really good one. I feel like at this point it might be a little far gone because we're in a new era of God of War. And
Yeah, well, I feel like actually this would be the perfect time
you think so?
to visit it because you could go back to the people who like the new God of War games are their first ones, and then show them like this was the precursor to him like traveling to I don't know where the new ones take place. It's somewhere that believes in the Norse gods,
Yeah.
but it's like this was the precursor. This is why he's here now.
Out of curiosity, how do you feel about adaptations that, like, so for example, I feel like video games are kind of like a lengthy thing to adapt. Same thing for like long running comic series. But I feel like they're not easy to adapt into like a movie, like a 90-minute movie, but like a series makes sense. What's your opinions on that?
Well, I fucking love Dota 2's Dragon Blood.
Yeah. So you would say that that's a good thing then? You like would you prefer like a God of War the movie or like a God of the War the TV series?
It it depends on what we're talking about because with God of War, you could condense the story of like the first three games down to have it to where it would be a good movie.
Mm.
With something like Dota, Dragon Blood, it's better as like it's better as like a show because there's so much.
Yeah, that would be like League of Legends being like, let's make a League of Legends movie. How? How? Explain. Explain it to me, Riot. How? It's almost like no, you have to like micro focus on one aspect, right? Like maybe two or three or five good characters, as opposed to just trying to like make a movie of the entire universe. You couldn't pay lips,
That's what Dragon Blood was.
right?
Dragon Blood focused on the story of Dragon Knight
Mm-hmm.
and Marana. Those were the two main characters, and then from those, you meet other characters in the world. Like you run into Marcy, Luna, um, Invoker,
Hmm.
Terrorblade, and it's just like you don't get to see their backstory,
Right.
but you do. You're seeing the backstory of these two characters in depth. So if they were to pick like, I'll just go with like my two of my favorite ones would be like, uh, fucking anything Yorick,
Mm-hmm.
Yorick, and then like Hecarim. They're both from the Shadow Isles.
Mm.
They're both like these dark dudes. So like doing a thing about like their lore
Yeah.
and the Dark Isles and all that kind of stuff would make sense. And then you would just add in like other characters from that region, and yeah.
Yeah. I want to touch on a couple of things here in the chat. So Siggy says that the weapon design was nice in Monster Hunter. I do agree to that. So Dare said you Monster Hunter doesn't seem to have a story. It kind of does, but like the story is kind of like, you live in a village, there's big monsters. To protect your village and also to provide for the villagers, you kill the monsters for food and parts, etc., right? And super easy formula to play with, you know? Like, hey, we live in a village, we hunt monsters. One day, a monster that's not typically around here shows up, and it's kind of messing with the ecosystem. We're in danger, right? We kill the big monster, we save the day, we're fine. The movie writes itself. What bothered me was that it was like, okay, we're an American military unit driving a Humvee through the desert, and then a storm transports us into Monster Hunter world. So we're using our guns and stuff and military tactics to
So it's
fight
an
monsters.
isekai.
It's an isekai. It is so stupid there. I was like,
The
why?
best thing would be if they had like The Rock and John Cena as
It,
two of the military
it,
dudes.
it was Mia Jovovich. So, like
I
the
don't know who that is.
she plays the main character in the Resident Evil movies.
So, not The Rock.
No, not The Rock. Other than that, Gargoyle says a Fire Emblem anime modernized wouldn't work. I disagree. I don't agree that the newest games would work, but I think that older games might. I think like the Blazing Blade and and no, it wasn't Blazing Blade. The one where Hector, Eliwood, and Lynn are the main characters. I think that's perfectly suited to be a movie adaptation. Maybe not even a
Let's be
movie adaptation.
completely honest.
Nah.
Anything that can make money can be turned into a
Yeah.
video.
Yeah. Uh,
Like if they did like good with an old Fire Emblem, and then they were like, well, we made a lot of money, so let's do a new one. They would find a way to make it work.
yeah, dude, Gargoyle Echoes. Echoes would make such a good movie. It would, and I feel like they're missing out by not doing so. So yeah, Brother Gamma says Alice overrated. I do agree that that she and Michelle Rodriguez are like the go-to action females for like this type of movie. I they're not bad actresses. I think they're fine. I think maybe we should try someone else. Just
Like The Rock.
like The Rock or John Cena. Except that if John Cena was in a movie, I don't know, like you wouldn't be able to see him. But anyway, the second anime about samurai that's coming to Netflix, and the creators have gone on record to say that this isn't anime. But I'm like, it's very anime inspired, guy. I mean, like you lose nothing by calling it an anime. You really don't. But it's called Blue Eye Samurai, and what it is it's a level 8 monster with 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. And you summon it onto the field, and if you have 3 of them, you can fuse them together for Blue Eye Ultimate Samurai.
Boo.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, it takes place in 17th century Japan, which historically that's the time when they had the borders closed off. It was a very homogenous culture at that point. Everybody inside of Japan was Japanese. So it's weird that the main character is a blue-eyed samurai. So basically, the story.
I don't know why that made me laugh. You're just like, everyone in Japan was Japanese. It's just like,
Well, yeah, that's what it means. So anyway, the story follows Mizu, who is a samurai with blue eyes, as she hunts down the only 4 white men in Japan at the time of her birth for making her a creature of shame. I think there's some unspoken implications in that. And I don't think they're, what do you call it?
PG-13.
Yes. So I don't think they're like PG-13 implications.
Yeah, I think we
Right.
can understand.
Good. Great. So
Yeah.
the idea is she's hunting down these 4 men so that she can kill them, knowing full well that one of them might be her father. It's not the time historically where women were, allowed to learn the sword. So Mizu hides her gender identity. She pretends to be a man as she embarks on this journey, basically, as she learns to master the blade and embarks on this journey to get revenge.
So kind of like Japanese Mulan.
A little bit like Japanese Mulan. Yeah, except her father's the bad guy.
With more vengeance instead of like protect my country.
Kind of, sort of. It's Japanese Mulan if Japanese Mulan was also Kill Bill.
Who's Bill and why are we killing him?
Exactly. Anyway, the cast features some well-known names such as Masi Oka, who played Hiro Nakamura in Heroes, Brenda Song, who played London Tipton in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, George Takei, George Takei, and Ming-Na Wen, Ming-Na Wen, among others. George Takei played
I saw Brenda's song "Sweet Life of Zack and Cody." It's just instant thought in my head was like, yeah, Cody in the House was a pretty good anime.
Cody in the House was a good anime. Yeah. George Takei was Mr. Zulu in Star Trek, among other things. He's been in a lot of stuff. And Ming-Na Wen, the most recognizable role that I know that everyone here might recognize is she was the original Mulan. In the animated.
So it's Japanese Mulan.
Yeah, so it's Japanese Mulan. But speaking of Japanese Mulan, dubs and season 2s, just to kind of wrap up our anime news for this week. So season 2 of Spy Family coming in October 7th. That's exciting. So yeah, and with the actors strike, there's really not a lot of anime being dubbed, which is kind of hard whenever dub is your
I
preference.
I thought that the strike ended like the other day, or was that a different strike?
No, no,
What was the
absolutely not.
strike that ended the other day?
No clue, but it wasn't the actors one, and as far as I know, it wasn't the writers one
Sure.
either.
I'll look it up real quick.
Okie doke. But because of the actor strike, there hasn't been a lot of like dubs happening, which is kind of messed up whenever like dub is your preference, such as me and Mrs. Bard. But it looks like Crunchyroll does have a couple of dubbed series already slated to appear in the fall season. Of which I'm just going to name a few here. We have a Returner's Magic Should Be Special, After School
It
Hanaka
was the
Kun.
WGA strike.
Really, the
The
Writers
Writers
Guild?
Guild of America. Yeah,
Interesting.
they well, just going off course right here. They reached a agreement just the other day, so the strike will be ending.
Fantastic. Okay, that's good to hear. That's one half of the things that have been putting Hollywood and etc. into like a slow crawl. So that's good to hear. Uh,
That was like the only thing that I saw in the news this whole week. I figured you'd already would have had
no,
seen it or something.
honestly, I had no clue. So I mean, like that's news to me, and they're welcome news. So I'm excited to hear it. So I was mentioning the ones that have dubs slated. So After School Hanaka Kun, Doctor Stone's New World Core 2. The one that I'm excited for, Freeren Beyond Journey's End. I didn't think this one would get a dub. I absolutely did not believe so at all. And I'm excited because this was an excellent manga, and I just cannot wait to see the anime because from the trailer, it looks phenomenal, and I'm excited. Other than that, Goblin Slayer Season 2. I Shall Survive Using Potions. One that the title is MF Ghost. So, that's your motherfucking ghost. I'm a child. I'm a child.
You are, you are a child, and you're older than me, so that I, the younger person's more mature.
Shangra Era Frontier. The Apothecary Diaries, which looks good, and I think Rising of the Shield Hero Season 3. So, a bunch of really, really good stuff. Uh, Surviving via potions is natural RPG stuff, right? Yeah, I mean, but like this is probably gonna be an isekai, and the reason that I say that is because usually if there's an RPG element in your anime, it's because it's an isekai. So I'm almost guaranteeing that. I know nothing about it, but like I would put $1 on it. I'd be like, yeah, it is. But
A whole doll hair.
a whole doll hair, baby. But that's the wrap up for like the anime stuff that happened this week that we found interesting. Now for games, how's it looking in game news? It's looking layoffs and strikes. This is fine, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who needs a job?
Who needs a job, right? Epic Games announces that they're laying off 16% of its workers. And additionally, in the ongoing actors' strike, SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild, has authorized video game actors to strike. So, yeah, basically moving into the Epic Games layoff. They're laying off 830 employees, which accounts for 16% of its total staff. In addition to the layoffs, there's also other things they're doing. They're getting rid of Bandcamp, which is their online music platform. And they're also spinning off most of Super Awesome, which is a company that they acquired that basically, from what I understand, they made it so that you can put like controls on games so that kids wouldn't be exposed to stuff that they shouldn't be.
Which, I mean, that needs to just be something that's there anyways.
Yeah, I agree. It's stuff that needs to be there anyway. Yeah, things are looking kind of crazy over at Epic. What are your thoughts
Which, I
on
mean,
that?
it's uh, I don't know why they're laying off people. It's not like they don't have money. Like
I mean,
they
they
make a, metric fuck ton from Fortnite. So, like, I'm guessing it's that those job positions just aren't needed. Question mark.
Maybe. I mean, you would hope so, right? You would hope that.
Well, it's definitely not like our company's not seeing profit, so we have to downsize.
Right.
It like there's no way in hell that's why they're laying people off.
And you mentioned it
But
yourself. This isn't like a small indie game developer. These
this is
guys
not a
make,
small indie company.
yeah, these guys make bukus of money off of like big titles. They're responsible for Gears of War. They're responsible for Fortnite. They've done Unreal Tournament.
They're
You,
they're they're responsible. Fuck, their words. They're they're Fortnite.
yeah,
Like Fortnite is them,
yeah. Fortnite is them.
and
I'm sure that they did other like Fortnite spin-offs like Spellbreak, didn't they? That was them too, wasn't it?
maybe.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so like this is a big company. So seeing that they're laying off 16% of their staff is kind of weird. So the question, okay, why? Well, it's obvious, right? It's money. According to what I've found, inflation means that gamers aren't spending money on games as much, and it's causing the industry to suffer.
Bullshit.
Yeah, and the CEO of Epic Games, Tim Sweeney, has been quoted as saying that the layoffs will help the company get to, quote, the other side of profitability. That's all I got. I honestly don't know what to tell you more about this. This is just what they're doing.
See, the only thing that inflation is stopping is like the 12-year-olds with mom and dad's credit card number.
Agreed.
Like grown ass people like us.
Nah,
If we
dude,
if
I
we want to spend money, we're going to fucking spend the money even if we don't have it.
I spent $60 on Baldur's Gate. you know,
Yes, you did.
I did. So like yes, like like I spent more money on Yu-Gi-Oh cards than I should have today, but yeah, like I did.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say that was a thing that you did as well.
no, that's a thing that I did as well. But it is what it is, right? If when you're an adult with adult money, you spend it on whatever the hell you want. Like inflation be damned. But I mean, I understand, but I don't think that this is a good reason. You know,
No,
I
no.
like I can see the logic, but like part of me is like, you can't be suffering that bad, right? Like,
If it was a small indie company, like if it was the people that made Undertale,
right.
I know they've got a fuck ton of money from Undertale, but if it was the people who made Undertale and they were like, we have to downsize and cut people, sure.
Right.
It's a small indie company that doesn't have much money. Is like Epic is not hurting for money in any way, shape, or form. It's just the people up at the top, they don't have as much money as they want in their pockets, so they're
Mm.
gonna have to wring the the sponge out a little bit more to get that last drop of water,
Yep. Yeah, and
that last nickel and dime.
it's unfortunate, but that's exactly what it sounds like. And if that is the case, it's really scummy. I don't like it. Because like when you think about it, like it's one thing to say 16% of their workforce is losing their jobs.
Yeah,
That almost sounds like nothing, right? 16%, that's nothing. But then when you look at each
but when
individual
you
person, that's
it's 16%. When you look at what 16% is, and 830 people
mhm.
is 16%.
That's almost 1,000 people.
That's different.
You don't see 1,000
That's
people a
yeah.
day. Like that doesn't happen.
That's I hate big corporations for this reason.
Yeah,
Like
it's scummy,
it's
dude.
ever since we. It, I'm not going to get off on a rant, but
No, by all means, go for it.
like every nah, I'm not going to because reasons.
Okay.
But ever since our business was like bought out by a big company,
Oh,
like it's only hurt us and the clients, and that's what this
uh,
is. This
yeah.
this isn't affecting anyone other than the people that work for Epic.
I agree with everything that you said. Same thing occurred to me in my last job. So yeah, yeah,
And then
100%.
the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
the next thing you're going to see is the price of their like in-game currency and their uh, it's either going to be the in-game currency
Mm-hmm.
or they're going to hide it in like a bundle deal, but they're going to raise the price of all their items. That way, it's hurting both the
Yeah,
employees and the consumers.
it's the worst, dude. I hate everything about it, but hey, unfortunately, yeah, like I don't know. I can't comprehend like big corporations sometimes because it's like these things that just like seem so simple and so like easy on our end just like seem to make absolutely zero sense to them. Maybe it's a grass is greener thing. Maybe on our end we just don't understand what they're going through. I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt that way, but the thing is, it seems to happen so frequently that I'm like, it can't just be like a symptom across all these big companies. Like,
I've been working for this place for like 6 years now, and we've gotten to the point where we have a monthly meeting where we see the numbers
mhm.
that we're making, and we're not hurting in any way, shape, or form. So why are we squeezing the clients for every last drop?
Yeah, why are we like this, right?
It's like because I'm not getting any more money on my paychecks,
Yeah.
so like I don't know where all this extra money is going to,
Hmm.
and they said the exact same thing that they were raising the prices that we're charging because inflation.
It's so stupid. But I could go on a rant myself, but this is the kind of rant that makes me sound like I'm crazy, so I'm just not gonna say anything. Instead,
Crazy. I was crazy
damn
once.
it, here it
They
is.
locked me in a rubber room, a rubber room with rats. Rats make me crazy.
Yep. You know what else is
Crazy.
crazy?
I was crazy once.
The SAG strike, is it over yet? No? Getting worse, you say? Yeah, members of the Screen Actors Guild have voted yes to go ahead on a video game strike. That said, that doesn't mean they're striking right now. That just means that it's kind of one of those things to provide leverage. It's like, hey, do we agree to strike on video games? No, not yet. So video game companies are like, okay, so we can be cool. We can be cool. But now it's like, okay, now we've agreed that we will strike if we want to. So now the pressure's on you. Are you going to give us what we're asking for? Or are you going to try to work with us? Or is this going to have to get ugly? So that's basically kind of what they're doing. It's my understanding that they had a meeting with video game employers to negotiate on a contract yesterday.
To negate the contract.
Did I say negate? Did I say negotiate?
Solemn strike that contract right now.
I meant to say negotiate if that's not what I said. But anyway, they met to negotiate the contract yesterday on the 28th, but didn't reach a deal. So for now, they're continuing with their previous interactive media agreement until both parties can reach a new understanding. Uh, so this is this is scary for people like me who are trying to be, voiceover artists or like screen actors, etc. Because this means that if something is a union work, you can't take it. You can't work. You know?
Unless you're in that union.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I'm non-union because as of now I'm just like a small time actor, right?
You're what they call a scab.
Yeah, I would like to be in the union because that guarantees me benefits, such as like, hey, my pay will be fair, my benefits will include like, health, medical, whatever. So I would like to be, just not 100% eligible yet, like they do have standards for letting you in. So with that being said, the say for example, and this doesn't happen frequently, but it does happen. Say for example that like Nintendo came up to me and they had like a role that I could fill. It's not an important character, but it is a character in one of their AAA titles, whether that be Mario, like Pokemon, Fire Emblem, whatever. So
I was gonna say Sonic, but then I remember that's not a
right,
Nintendo
yeah,
character.
I was about to say Sonic too, believe it or
It's
not.
like, wait, you like Sonic, but why isn't he saying Sonic? But yeah,
Right.
carry on, carry
So
on.
like this doesn't happen frequently, but it does happen. Like if Nintendo came up to me and said, "We have a role for you," and suddenly it's kind of like there's a strike going on, and if I would love to take that role, but if I do, I'm going against the union, and that's not something you do. Like that.
Yeah, that because that's bad.
Yeah,
And
that's bad. So like it's kind of one of those things right now where like pretty much all acting has come to a complete screeching halt across various different areas, and video games up till now has been one of those that hasn't really been affected, but now the threat of it being affected is looming heavily over them. So with that said, you kind of want this to resolve because a lot of the media that we consume is being halted by this strike, and the things that the union is asking for aren't really like unreasonable things. It's just kind of like, hey, you know what?
but it's extra money out of some big CEO's pocket,
It's
and
extra
that
money.
is hard to get.
Yes, it is extra money out of some CEO's pocket, and they don't like that. So like where the Screen Actors Guild is like, hey, child actors should not work more than X amount of hours. Secondly, actors should be permitted to take breaks after X amount of hours of work. Additionally, like we don't want to have our voices used to train an AI to sound like us without profiting us, because all that means is you're eliminating the job that we were hired to do, and you're still using our voice. That sucks, you know?
Yeah, I've that's like a different topic for like another stream, but like I feel like maybe not in the near future, but definitely in the future, like AI is going to completely take over voice acting for like anime and like animated movies, things that don't require an actual person on the screen talking.
I really hope
Because
not,
that's,
but I think you're onto something. I feel like it
I
could
hope
be.
not either.
Yeah.
I hope not either, but like if you've heard some of like the AI like voice stuff,
Hmm?
it's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
dare. Like
you you,
I
you could have like people who are no longer here
yeah.
be in movies again because you can have an AI imitate their voice.
Yeah, dude, like there.
And
I'm an audiobook narrator. I've done a bunch of audiobooks which are on Audible, right? And that's one of the more common places where this is starting to happen. So, like,
yeah, because you could have a book read by somebody who's been passed away for years and years, and years, or you could just have it read by someone funny like fucking who's the go the fuck to sleep guy.
oh,
Samuel L. Jackson.
oh,
Samuel L.
okay,
Jackson.
yeah,
You could have a book read by Samuel L. Jackson, and it it's just more desirable.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, there is that. So, like, it's a scary thing, like you don't want to lose jobs, and you certainly don't want to lose, for in a manner of speaking, lose your voice, because now they're using it. you know
Yeah,
so it's a scary thing. So I'm with the Screen Actors Guild on this one. Like, yes, we should install limitations on this stuff. But again, like you said, hey, how much cheaper is it to train an AI to sound like you and then never have to pay a voice actor again?
yeah, because that eliminates a bunch of different people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you just need the one person that does the uh, the AI stuff.
Yeah.
You don't need the like voice actor or the person that is there to like edit the. I don't. I guess you would still like editors and stuff.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I can see that
You,
there
you
there
can
would
you
there
can
would
pay
be
someone
jobs.
less.
Yeah.
You can pay someone less because a voice actor would cost more than
Yeah.
someone who just makes sure an AI is doing its job.
Needless to say, I am not for AI. If this was the world of Overwatch, I would, I would be beating Omnix. It's just
This is the start of the Omnic War,
this
the
is the
Omnic
start of the
Crisis.
Omnic crisis, yeah. But anyway, like
How would that fucking work out?
I don't
if
even know.
this actually was like the start of the Omnic crisis,
Oh
and
God.
then like 4 or 5 years later, we get the Omnic Crisis 2, where everything's behind a fucking paywall.
Like the world was
There's
taken over by
promises of
machines, not in the way we thought, but it did.
there's promises of PVE, but there's no PVE.
Oh Lord. Oh man, that is wow. But moving on to other things, which hopefully are a little more lighthearted. Well, that was a lot. Hey, how about card games, Dare? You like card games?
No.
Okay. Konami continues to beat tier elements with a stick because it just refuses to die. Secondly, Pokemon is having a really wholesome crossover with the Van Gogh Museum. It's actually really cute. Except that scalpers are ruining it for everyone.
I mean, scalpers ruin everything,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, you're gonna get a kick out of this story, Dare. It is exciting. But
Well,
first,
like I saw recently that I think it's a McDonald's thing, right?
no.
That you can,
It's
uh,
so
they,
much
they
worse
had a
there.
McDonald's
They
thing.
did have a
They
McDonald's
had
thing,
it
yes.
where McDonald's was like, "Hey, we're limiting everything to one.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have. You can order more Happy Meals if you want, but you can only get one card."
Yeah. Yeah, and they've had to do this for a long time now because people are insane. But first, new Master Duel ban list. I sure hope Mikanko isn't hit. Master Duel has dropped a new ban list, dropped this morning. It goes live on October 10th. Newly banned Kelbeck the Ancient Vanguard and Diablosis the Mind Hacker.
Tier hits. Good.
One a tier hit and one a cash hit. Yeah, you're right. Newly limited Nimble Beaver and Tearlament's Havness. Havness wasn't
Tier and
limited.
Sprite.
Yeah, Tier and Sprite. And lastly, newly unlimited Luster Pendulum the Draco Slayer, number 75 Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, and Adamancipator Analyzer.
They got rid of Rangaminiad, right?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so Gossip Shadow's fine.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wrote in the next slide. It's like, hey, what does this mean? I was like, well, without Rongo, Gossip Shadow's okay.
Oh, I didn't look ahead. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know why they didn't just hit tier down to where it is in the TCG and OCG.
Really? Yes, exactly.
I don't remember what Luster Pendulum does. Adamancipator doesn't do anything.
Luster Pendulum, if I'm not mistaken, is a vanilla pendulum monster that allows you to pop something. Yeah. Let me look it up real quick. Luster.
I believe all of the Draco Slayers, like the Draco Slayers, were vanilla with pendulum effects, and then the Magispectors were.
Okay, so as it turns out, it is not vanilla. It is actually an effect monster. It's a level 4.
Oh.
And it says the pendulum effect is once per turn, if you have a card on your other pendulum zone, you can destroy that card. And if you do, add one card from your deck to your hand with the same name as that card. And the...
Oh, so you'd put something in your pendulum scale, pop it, so it'd go to the extra deck, and then you can pendulum summon it out.
Right. And then the other one, is, the monster effect says... Cannot special summon fusion, synchro, or Xyz monsters using this card as material except Draco Slayer monsters.
Which they have. I think the synchro one's good. The XC one's the fusion's
Yeah, they recently got a new wave of support, so they got stuff that they can do with it. You know, like Brother Gamma says that. At this point, just go ahead and unban Magispector Kieran.
Well, speaking of that, because I know Bard didn't put anything in it. I think we actually talked about it last week or the week before. Magispectors have a new Kieran. I don't remember if it's a link or if it's a pendulum, but they got a link and then like 3 other cards, and I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're not going to get Kieran back, but I'm so happy.
Honestly, I feel like the game has accelerated so much that Kieran would probably be okay at 1.
That's a fucking episode we could do too of what cards can come off the ban list.
Hey, let's do it. I'm all 100%
Mystic
for it.
Mind to 3.
We'll talk about it then. But so basically, what I've seen here is the hits seem to confirm that the Ishizu cards were a mistake. They banned all of them and they left Kelbeck alone, and then they're like, you know what? No, also Kelbeck banned.
Well, like I said, they should have just not even put tier
Right.
into Master Duel because of how it was.
True. I agree. They shouldn't have released it unhit, is what they shouldn't have done, which they did, and that was
did release it they released it hit. They
that
fucking neutered it when it came out.
that was the third time that this deck was released at full power in a format, and I was like, did you guys not learn? You had to do ban lists to stop it. You just I don't.
But that's the thing. They didn't this. They released it twice at full power, and then in Master Duel they released it with like hits and limits.
Yeah,
on,
like small
everything.
limits. I mean, it wasn't even that much.
They shouldn't have even released it in Master Duel because of like how bad it was.
I mean, people wanted it is the thing. You know, like there are people out there who believe that
I
tier
want
limits is
Mystic
fun.
Mind. Are they going to put Mystic Mind in Master Duel? No.
Exactly. You know, like, but like, there's kind of a difference because like tier is like, oh, well, the tier mirror is fun, or at least so they say. I didn't believe so, but that's me.
Have you ever played a Mystic Mind mirror?
No, I haven't.
That is the most exhilarating feeling you could ever have.
Anyway, the banning of
You have
Kelbeck
so
and
many cards in your hand.
the banning of
And
Kelbeck and Havness, the limiting of Havness.
You get to draw more cards and don't have to worry about anything.
Right. Basically, are a way of murdering the tier piles. The most represented one that I saw was like Dark World tier, because Dark Worlds have a tendency of getting stuff out of your hands and into the graveyard, you know? So it was a common one that I saw. You know, they would run like a tier package. It's okay. You know, it wasn't like full power tier, but it is what it is. Nimble Beaver and Diablosis seem to hit like the other two meta heavyweights, which would be like Sprite and Cash. And Diablosis being hit right now seems to be like a preemptive hit for when a Rise Heart and what's it called, Pressured Planet Wraith Soth release onto Master Duel, because those are the cash cards that were missing.
I remember when Mind Hacker was still in the game.
Yeah, Mind Hacker's so dumb.
Mind Hacker was. I just finished building my Utopia deck, and one of the Utopia cards says that you can special summon a number card off of its effect. And I was like, oh, which one do you summon? And I found Mind Hacker, and I was like, oh, this is great. And then it like immediately got banned. It's like, fuck off.
You know what's one of the best things? You know, you're talking about Utopia. One of the most underused Utopia cards, and I love it in Lyrilusk. It's Utopia Roots, because in Lyrilusk it's super easy to end your turn with like Zeus on field. So next turn you just go for OTK. You know, like you spend your Zeus, and then you summon 2 Lyrilusks, and you make Utopia Roots, which is a rank 1. And then you go into battle, you swing with Zeus, and then you activate Roots effect to negate the attack from Zeus, and then Roots gains attack equal to the rank of all monsters on the field, and Zeus is a rank 12. So he just gains this massive amount of attack. So you're like, you negate the attack with Zeus, okay, that's 3,000, and then Utopia Roots swings for like over 10k. It's so stupid.
I went and I commented on that video, the Victory Firebook 2. And I was like, I know the Kecleon. And I got a response from the uploader, and he said, where do you know them? So now I'm typing a novel of how I know you and how our love is the truest love.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. But anyway, the new Draco Slayer cards incoming means that Luster might see play here and there. You know, like It's cool, and it's got a pretty decent pendulum effect. So I mean, like I think that's cool. Being a scale 5 means that you could go for like the higher like levels, like 6, 7, 8, etc. Um, let's see. Other than that, no Rongo means that Gossip Shadow is probably fine. No Rongo, no VFD. Gossip Shadow is okay. And
That's what you say,
no,
but
we'll see. I guess it remains to be seen. You're right. And no Block Dragon means that Adamancipator can Adamancipate all day, every day.
rest in peace, Blocky Boy.
And rest in peace,
Gone
bud.
too soon.
Yeah. Anyway, here comes the Pokemon thing. Pokemon Van Gogh. See what I did there? It's a Van Gogh collaboration, and Pokemon Go is it's a game.
I hate it here.
Pokemon Van Gogh. The Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, is celebrating its 50th anniversary in a fun way. Until January 7th of next year, the Van Gogh Museum is hosting a collaboration with Pokemon. The event will see various Pokemon paintings on display done in the signature style of Van Gogh. The museum will also be selling unique Pokemon merch during the collaboration. T-shirts, posters, a very special Pikachu trading card. I think you see where this is going.
Yeah, I see where this is going.
Ha! If scalpers don't ruin it for everyone as usual, that is. The Pikachu trading card is done in the style of Van Gogh's self-portrait. And when the store opened the collaboration, I'm sorry, the museum, whenever it opened the collaboration on the 28th, a video footage emerged really quickly on Twitter of people bum rushing the souvenir stands, like the souvenir shops, trying to buy up every piece of Pokemon merch they had. It is you've seen like Black Friday gone bad videos. It's that in the Netherlands. You never hear anything bad come from it. That general area seems to be the most well-adjusted folk on the planet. Just by polls.
Well, that's what you think, but
Yeah.
then you put some Pokemon in there.
But like, holy cow! I mean, like, I'm watching the video. I'm like, no way. I'm like, I believe this here in the States. I believe this in New York City. I believe this in California. I believe it in Illinois. Heck, I even believe it here in Texas. I've been to a couple of Walmarts during Black Friday. I know how mad people get up in this place, man.
Why Illinois?
Chicago.
Okay, it seemed random to me.
I was just naming big cities. Big cities that came
you could say just Illinois.
I was just naming big cities that I knew, so Chicago, New York, California. I mean, pick L.A., whatever. Shoot, you can choose.
If you would have said Chicago, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like,
the state came to mind, not the city, right?
Most of Illinois is rural.
Yeah, well, the state is what came to mind, not the city. But also, you can pick a place in Florida. Like honestly, like anywhere in the States, I feel like this would be like a common occurrence if it happened here, right? I mean, just as you were talking about the McDonald's cards, and we've talked about in the past during COVID, people just like going crazy with cards at like Target and Walmart, etc. It's insanity. So
yeah, I wasn't one of those people.
Neither was I. But those people did exist up to the point where people
were there, and they're terrible people.
Yeah, up to the point where people got attacked in the parking lots just because they had Pokemon cards on them, right? So this is the Pikachu card in question, and scalpers were trying to buy up everything. It was a madhouse. It was insane. And like the community, we're kind of looking at it with kind of like, I don't know, dude. Like this makes us look bad. Speaking of the community, if you've ever heard of if you're into the Pokemon fandom, you know of the website Cerebi.net, which was started by a guy called Joe Merrick, and he's the one that's been running the website ever since golly, forever. I remember using this website to look up strategies when I was a kid, Um, but yeah, it's a fan website, and it's arguably one of the most popular Pokemon websites there is. And in response to videos of people going crazy at the Van Gogh Museum, and Joe Merrick issued a tweet where he was basically like, "This is sad, like this is why we can't have nice things, like yeah, all of you are just wanting this stuff so that you can resell it, and that this isn't acceptable, like if you do this, shame on you." And I agree with him. Like this is kind of crap, dude. Like you're ruining it for like say, for example, Pokemon is a family property. Like there's adults who grew up with it. There's kids who are growing up with it now. And imagine, like you take your family to the Van Gogh Museum to see Pokemon stuff, and maybe like pick up a T-shirt or like a trading card on the way out. And this is the madness that you're met with. Like it's
Madness.
yeah,
This is Sparta.
it's kind of what it feels like. So it's kind of a mess. In a different tweet, he went on to say that these actions kind of cause other potential collabs to just not happen because, like other companies see this kind of stuff happen and then they're like, nah. And honestly, like, what do you think about that? Because, I mean, me personally, I agree with him. I think that whenever like this is the reaction, I mean, it can go one of two ways. Companies can be like, no, because that makes our brand look bad. But other companies can be like, if people are fighting for this, that means it's worth something. Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like I really hated the fact that whenever COVID like shut everything down, there were people that just went and bought cards that they had no intention of using, but like the only intention was to go turn around and like sell them for profit.
Yep.
Like, it, this kind of stuff is really shitty, and for someone who wants to collect or who like, the people who want like the Van Gogh Pikachu for like an actual collection, it's going to be super hard for them to get one
Mm-hmm.
unless they pay tons of money because Jimmy got there and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy all of them because I can sell them for $100 billion on eBay."
Right. Right.
It's shitty that people do that.
It is pretty messed up. I agree with you.
There's actually a guy in another Discord that like the people I've been friends with these people for like years, and I mean like 10 to 15 years probably now. And there's just this random guy that ended up joining, and every single time he would like join a call with us, it was always, "Oh, I just bought like X amount of thing off of a sale, and I'm gonna turn around and sell it on eBay for this much profit. I'm gonna make it."
Just like a ton of money. Dare.
What?
Did we lose you? Like for a minute there, you went
Did
quiet.
What was the last thing I said?
I'm gonna turn around and sell it.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna turn around and sell it for a whole bunch of money," and I was just like, "Dude, that's your whole personality, and nobody here likes you because of that." And he was just like, "Well, I could like give you guys money if you need money or something." It's like, we don't want your money. We want you to stop being a shitty person.
Right. That's so stupid too. I mean, like, oh my god. Like, like
He bought like 18 pairs of like, I don't. It was some kind of like basketball shoe promotion thing. He bought 18 pairs of it
hmm.
because he had like some kind of bot set up that as soon as that promotion went live, it would just automatically buy as many as it could.
Hmm.
And it's just like, dude, fuck off with your being a scumbag.
Yeah, that's just some crap, dude. Because I mean, like, and this is the way that I kind of picture it. It's like, for example, and I'm using myself as an example because I do collect cards. So like if I got my hands on that, what's it called, Pikachu, I would
Yeah.
treasure it. Like, hey, this to me means a lot because this is a one of a kind, and I love it. Like this is from my collection. This is from my personal fulfillment. Whereas for everyone else, it's like it's about the money. You know? Um,
The, the same way with me, the Marine card that I pulled the other day,
yeah.
uh, that's not getting sold. It's
Hmm.
in a top loader in a sleeve on my desk because one, it's fucking cool, and two, it's something that it's a prized possession at this point.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the other, like the Hololive Expo cards that I pulled.
Right.
They're something that I really like, and I don't want to get rid of them.
Exactly, dude. Like this is, and like we're talking as people who are fans of these hobbies and who can spend money on them. But think about like a kid who went to the museum, right? He's out with his family, like they're just having a good time out. He gets to see some Pokemon pictures. He gets to learn a little bit about art. There's installments in this exhibit so that you can draw something yourself. He could discover a talent, like a passion that he never had before. He or she, I'm just generalizing. But in the end, this kind of thing happens, and suddenly the
In
whole
the
day.
end, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, exactly. So like in the end, it's just kind of
I
like the.
had to draw
Mhm.
to lose it all.
Mhm. uh,
That's all I got. I'm not gonna sing anymore.
that's fine. We need to
But
do
in
a
the end, it doesn't even matter.
we need to do a karaoke stream one day. Given how many times we've just like broke off into song recently. But yeah, so like this could leave like a really bad stain on like a memory, and I don't like it. Like it's gross, like grown people just like grabbing something, just for the sake of like instant profit, taking it away from people who would actually enjoy it and like treasure it. It's gross, but yeah.
Yeah, because if like a kid bought a pair of those Jordans that I was telling you about, like,
Mm.
he's not gonna wear them.
No.
Those are gonna go. They're gonna stay in then like either the shoebox or display case or something,
Hmm.
and it's gonna be like a prized possession. Whereas this other person's just like, it's money.
And it's exploitative too because it's like, yeah, like everywhere that's selling it at retail is going to run out of it, and then you're going to have to turn to the guy who is responsible for that and pay him more.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is stupid to me. I hate that. But anyway, to conclude,
I hate people too. People are terrible.
you know what's not terrible? The Pokemon Victory Fire dub. I am
We've already
Kecleon.
talked about it. We've already talked about it. I've already went and commented on the video, and the guy was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah. No, no, I'm just reminding you in case you weren't here at the beginning and you're joining us at the end. I am Kecleon in Victory Fire, the comic dub. Go check it
And
out.
I am Dareinger.
And he
Thanks
is,
for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
and he is Dareinger. Go comment on it, say Kecleon's our boy, and let him know that I sent you. Other than that, look at this boy.
Look at this boy. This boy is amazing. Give him a lick. It tastes just like raisins.
Gosh, that you've unlocked a core memory for me.
With a stroke of his mane, he turns into a plane, and then he turns back again when you.
Yeah, I all of those. Like all of a sudden, I'm just remembering back to 2007 when those were everywhere. Like here he comes, the electro gypsy. All of those, like badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom.
Snake, a snake, oh, it's a snake.
But other than that,
We're old.
thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and share. It helps the boys grow. And again, if you're on the podcasting platforms just listening in, join us on YouTube sometime. Stop by our live chat, say hello to us. You might get shouted out.
Or don't. That's up to you.
Yeah,
You don't have to.
it's up to you. We would like you to. We would like to hear from you guys. But
We're not going to hold a gun to your head.
I'm
We're
gonna
not going to
edit that
force you to
out.
watch. I'm going to just say it multiple times now.
Okay.
Now I found the kryptonite for you.
But why is that the kryptonite for me?
because I'm gonna make you either sit with a pad of paper next to your desk where you have to write down every timestamp where I say something stupid like that, or I'm just gonna say it a lot and make you edit out a bunch.
Yeah, I guess that would suck.
This is going to encourage shorter episodes, so I
I
can
have been the
go to sleep.
midnight. I have been the midnight bard.
I'm grumpy, tired man.
Until next time.
What?